what's up you guys? Megan here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a long overdue Q&A. I asked you guys to ask me questions on my Instagram ranging anything from UVA to postgrad to college advice, and you guys definitely delivered. If you aren't following me on Instagram, definitely check it out. It's always linked down below. If you guys are new, definitely make sure to subscribe down below, and let's start first with my postgrad plans. If you guys watched any of the vlogs, especially the last like 3 or 4 leading up to graduation, you guys know I was super stressed about getting a job, and I definitely expressed that in my videos, but obviously off camera my friends were getting more of it in real life, and more so like the tears and the like just stress behind it all. I think at UVA it's really difficult, especially at McIntyre, to see all these people that you know who are super qualified get these amazing jobs, and then you're sitting there and you're like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not getting a job? So first, to start off, my job is in New York City. Whoa. Didn't think I'd be moving to New York, especially if you asked me a year ago. Vehemently against New York. Funny how life works like that. It is currently July 21st. I'm moving to New York in early August. I am going to be doing a ton of moving vlogs for you guys because, you know, I love a moving vlog, but this is the big leagues. I have an apartment. I'm living with my friend Josh. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to document it all for you guys, so definitely stay tuned for the moving series. But as for what I'm doing, I'm definitely not going to be talking about my job a lot in my videos, just because one, I like to keep like my personal life and my videos separate, even though a lot of my videos do include my personal life. I'm not going to be talking about where I'm working, but I will share that I'm working in marketing, which is exactly what I wanted to do, but I'm working for a tech company, which is not something that I was ever setting out to do, but I've been working there now. This is my 4th week and I've really been enjoying it so far. Everyone is so nice. I'm super excited about the role. So the story of how I found out is actually really funny. I went through a pretty intensive interviewing process for this job, and in fact it was the most intensive of any of my other interviews. I completed the interviews 2 weeks before graduation on that Thursday, and what's so funny is the night that I finished those interviews, we went out a lot of days after that too, but I think it was that whole weekend, that night specifically, I heard the New York, New York song from Frank Sinatra like 2 or 3 times in a night. It was crazy. I felt like such a, I don't know, it was just like such a weird universe, God, whatever you want to call it, thing, where I was just like, whoa, like that feels very real. Like I feel like it's working out. I don't know. And then on Tuesday, which is when I found out actually that I got the job, I was actually at Sam's T-shirt Tuesday party at Sadler. I got the call. It was like 9 p.m. I was talking to Sam's little brother and sister, and I was like, oh, I think someone's like been calling me for the past like 5 minutes, because I was getting on my watch, my phone was charging. What do you know, it's the recruiter. And she was like, you got the job. I was like literally crying in Sam's room. I was calling my parents, calling Ashley. I was like, it's T-shirt Tuesday right now, like what's going on? I remember I walked back out, I told all of my friends who were there, which is amazing and like such a core memory, and we had the best night. And I heard that song again like a couple times, so definitely kind of felt a lot of universe things at work there, and I'm super excited. I also got asked what am I most nervous about for postgrad life. My most immediate concern in the moment, figuring out how to manage my money and be completely financially independent. I was super lucky in college. My parents paid for my rent and like my groceries and stuff, and while I did pay for some things, it was fun things. And so when all your money's going to fun things, it's not that hard to budget. Now that I have to pay exorbitant rent and New York City prices for everything and all of that, I think that that's kind of like the primary stressor in the moment. And then like, I guess bigger picture outside of that, because I'll figure that out pretty quickly, I think. I don't know, I feel like lately I've been like super nostalgic for college, and it's funny because when I graduated I was definitely sad, but I was kind of just like, you know what, like had my time in college, like love the memories, love the people, all of that, but like I'm ready to move on. And I think since I've been home for the past like 2 months or so, I've just been like really, I don't know, missing my friends. And yes, I miss like going out and like doing crazy shit and having fun, but honestly what I miss more right now has been like, oh, like I'm gonna watch some stupid show like Love Island. No offense if you like that, but like something like that, I'm like, well, that's not fun to watch by myself. Like I want to watch it with my friends. It's also been really hard because Ashley, my best friend from home, just moved to DC, which I'm so excited for her, but she was kind of like my last person here besides some of my high school friends who have also moved away. So I'm just kind of like, whoa, what's going on. So I think that that's gonna be the hardest, and it's just an adjustment period. I've been calling my friends a lot. I'm supposed to talk to Emma tonight. I think that that's what I'm most nervous for, but I guess it's like a long distance relationship. If I, you know, had a boyfriend, you just set the next date that you're gonna see each other, and then you can look forward to that. I don't know, that got a little deep, but I think that that's kind of what I'm most nervous for. Okay, so now for some UVA questions. These were definitely the most that I got, and gotta live in this niche while I still can. Like, I will forever be making a UVA video. When I go back for YAR, you're getting a video. You know what I mean? All right, so I'm gonna combine these 3 ones together. Rare but fun places in Seaville that not many people know. Something you wished you discovered sooner in Charlottesville. And something you did / somewhere you went 4th year that you wish you did sooner. For me, something that we did a lot 4th year that I'm so glad that we did was go to wineries. You don't even need to be 21 to go to a winery. Like, you can just go and sit and hang out with your friends. And first year, it's definitely a lot harder because you don't have a car. But honestly, like, you have all 4 years to be doing fun stuff outside of Charlottesville. I feel like if you're gonna get sick of Charlottesville, you should do it first year. Obviously, if you can go, that's super fun. My friends and I didn't really start going consistently until 4th year. 1, because that's like a vibe, but 2, also COVID. My friends and I went downtown to the downtown mall a lot, which we loved. Restaurants and bars. Go to the Fitzroy, they have really good drinks. We did Cardinal Hall a lot, which very overdone in my opinion. I don't love it. Quirk Rooftop is super fun. Definitely a little bit overdone, but if you're like a 2nd or 3rd year, it feels really fun. Super pretty views, especially if it's not busy. The food and drinks at El Bebedero, albeit a little expensive, fantastic, unreal. Definitely go there. It's on the downtown mall. We went 4th year and it was such a good time. I actually put it in one of my vlogs, so I'll put a clip here. It was such a fun night. 2 other places that I wish I had discovered sooner / are kind of like hidden gems. El Puerto, best and cheapest Mexican food in Charlottesville. My all-time favorite pizza is from Dr. Ho's, which definitely is a lot more of a drive. It's out 29 South towards Lynchburg, probably like 20 minutes or so. So good. The Fat and Sassy, which is like a cheesy garlic bread, immaculate. LT and Chesley put me on to Dr. Ho's when I lived with them 2nd year, and I don't know if I went there before I graduated. When I go back for YAR, I'm going to Dr. Ho's. It's so good. But wineries, my recommendations, I pretty much did all of them, I feel like. Mount Ida is so underrated and gorgeous. It's definitely a windy road to get out there, and you can't bring your own food, I don't think. Although when we went with Macon 3rd year for her birthday, we did, and they were fine with it. But it's gorgeous, gorgeous views. I went there with my promo class the last week of school, and then went with Macon for her birthday. We also went to this place called Mary Mill. That's out in Keswick, and it's literally the most beautiful drive to get there. I would probably say out of all the wineries, you can bring your own food, which our waitress was like not very nice when we went there, and she was like making comments about us bringing food, even though they say on your website you can. But we built our own cheese board, bought wine there, and it was so good, so yummy. So those are kind of like a little bit more off the beaten path ones. Not really, but King, a lot of people do that one, or Pippin Hill. I've never been there. It's supposed to be super pretty, but I think they close early. So the Brewing Tree is really good. Liv's mom's best friend owns the place, and she makes the most amazing food. We went there for Liv's grad party. It's so yummy, stunning, and very more like family, kind of like cozy vibes. I got a question about advice for rising 3rd years, and I think that this is actually a really good question because I felt like there was a big shift between who I was 2nd and 3rd year. I think a lot of that did have to do with COVID, because that hit during my 2nd year, and I moved into my sorority house my 3rd year. 3rd year was one of my favorite years of college. I would say that like progressively the years got better for me. Not that first year wasn't great. 3rd year was really kind of when I started to make like my close friends. I definitely had close friends 1st and 2nd year, and honestly I've had pretty much the same friend group since 1st year. A lot of my friends that I made in my sorority were 3rd year. So if you have the opportunity to, definitely live in a sorority or fraternity house. If you are in Greek life and you want to do that. For me, I was debating between staying in my house that I lived in 2nd year, which I loved, or, you know, kind of pushing myself out of my comfort zone to live with people I didn't really know. I did know my roommates Shannon and Clara, but not super well, and honestly I didn't know anyone in the house like super well. That exercise of kind of putting myself out there led to so many more great friendships that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And not to say that you can't have that if you don't live in the house, but just kind of pushing yourself to meet new people. For me, what was great 3rd year was that's when I officially joined COM, and I got to meet a bunch of people in my block and my classes and my group that I spent so much time with. But 3rd year is when then for me, like things got a lot more academically serious and shit got more real. Not that I wasn't trying first and second year, but my actions mattered a lot more third and fourth year, especially fourth year. But third year is kind of when you want to land an internship for the next summer so that potentially that could turn into a job offer, or at least catapult you into finding a job or interviewing and stuff like that. Not that you should be like networking all the time, but I definitely think third year is where you need to make sure that your priorities are in check and you're not just like going out all the time, which you can do that too, but just like make sure that, you know, for me, that meant Sunday through Thursday afternoon, like I was grinding, like I was focused, I was getting my stuff done so that for me, Thursday through Saturday, I could have fun, whether that means going out or hanging out with my friends or just like not really putting school so much on the forefront. I also would say my advice for third and fourth year that I found super helpful was to work on Fridays. And I say that because I didn't have class on Fridays from second year all the way up to fourth year, and then fourth year I had promo on Fridays, which was such a blessing in disguise because it got me out of bed and it got me feeling productive for the day. Even if you put in a couple hours on a Friday, that's gonna set you up for so much more of a better week and weekend. Third year is like the year to really just like lean into school, lean into clubs, lean into like all of your activities. You can kind of start to relax that towards the end of fourth year, but for me, that was the year I got super involved in WUVA and super into comm and like just worked my ass off, honestly. And that's what you need to do. So that's my advice for third year. At the end of the day, you're in college, like you're there to learn, you're there to get a degree, and you're there to do a good job. So obviously like go out, have fun with your friends. Like I did that too, trust me. Just like make sure your priorities are in check. Kind of on that same wavelength, I got a question about McIntyre advice and the best way to connect / network. Network, such a dirty word. I actually loathe networking, but you kind of just need to reframe it as like meeting people, which is not a fun thing to reframe it as necessarily. But at this point, I feel like I've met so many different people and done a bunch of different informational interviews through either class speakers in class, just even asking a question, getting engaged with them, or speaking to them after class saying, you know what, like I really enjoyed your presentation, like I would love to follow up with you and like sit down with you for like less than 30 minutes and do a little coffee chat, learn more about your experience. People love that shit, they eat it up. You better come ready with your questions though, that's all I have to say. For those type of things, a lot of the connections that I got were through my classes, which was amazing. Also for me, fourth year, a lot of the way I did the job search was we had a ton of connections through promo. And so if you're not in a class like that, you can reach out to professors who probably have just as many connections and kind of tell them what you're interested in and be like, hey, like I'm really interested in doing something in video production. Do you know anyone that maybe you could connect me with that I could talk to about their role and like their experience? One of my biggest pieces of advice is for me sometimes the like hump of asking a professor, just like dreading like, oh, I don't want to do this. Even asking like your parents to set you up with someone. It's like, oh, I don't want to do that. But then after, the reward is so much more than the effort that you have to put in to do that. It takes like what, 15 to 30 minutes to prep for one of those calls. What do? You look on their LinkedIn, you talk to whoever recommended them to you and like just find out a little bit about them. You come ready with 5 to 10 questions about them and then just have a conversation. For me, the biggest thing driving those conversations is not what can I get from you and like how can you get me a job. It's just really important coming into those conversations to not expect anything. They don't owe you anything, and the fact that they're sitting down with you is very generous with their, I'm sure, very busy schedule. And so just like treat it as like, I want to learn as much as possible from you, and perhaps that conversation will lead to something like a job opportunity and something like that, or you know, it could really help you figure out what you don't want to do. It's just really important to network, and for me, I just kind of forced myself to like go to one of those events or network with someone at least once a month. I don't know if that cadence is good or bad. McIntyre has a huge alumni network that really wants to help, so reaching out to any of them, they're amazing. And your professors. I got a couple questions about my favorite memories, which, I mean, guys, like I can't put those all into one. I will say if you want to see video clips of them, definitely go watch the last like minute to 90 seconds of my grad vlog, which is linked down below. That like makes me teary-eyed every time I watch it because it's all of some of my favorite memories, not even all of them. Fourth year, I had so many amazing memories between lighting on the lawn. That was one of my favorite nights of fall semester, or the tech game. That was such a fun night. Definitely gonna miss like game days and stuff like that. Third year, definitely living in the house, which is not just one memory, but so many memories. First year we won the Natty Champs, and even though second year, you know, we went home with COVID, like I had such a fun time in that house. And I remember the week leading up to spring break, which is when we all got like sent home, I had just gotten into comm, which was like such a big deal for me at the time. Oh my god, parents formal. That was easily like another like huge, probably like top 5, top 10 events in college for me. My parents never got to go first year. Second and third year it was canceled, so fourth year was my first and only parents formal. The most fun night ever. Jasper went with me, and it was just like the 4 of us had such a fun time. Got to see everyone I knew. That was like one of my top memories for sure of college. I would say fourth year probably like takes the cake on like best memories, especially I would say like the last like month or so of fourth year was so special because we really didn't have like any schoolwork, even though we had a couple weeks of school left. We got to go to regional districts. Shit, I can't remember, with promo, which didn't end as well as we wanted it to, but such a good group, such a good time. We did like the t-shirt Tuesday, like just so many good memories packed into that 1 month. And yeah, you guys are making me nostalgic. Last kind of UVA specific question, but this person asked the best things to look forward to each year at UVA. That's a hard one. I would say first year, definitely just like college is so liberating and fun, and just trying a bunch of new things. I think that I wouldn't go back and change anything. You kind of have to lean into the fact that you just have no idea what you're doing and you want to desperately. And I vividly remember trying to feel like I had this friend group and like I was thriving and like all that. I was fine the first semester. Second semester was a lot better, but it wasn't like the time in my life. But looking back, I'm so grateful that I made the decisions that I did, that I had fun, but I was just kind of testing the waters of everything. Second year, I would say you kind of come back and you're like, okay, like I know what's up. Like I know the classes. Hopefully you're starting to figure out like maybe what you want your major to be. Third year was kind of like the year that you like hit your stride. You're like, all right, like I got my friends. I have like my activities that I'm doing. You know what, maybe like I have an idea of like what I want to do now that I have my major, and you feel like very settled in. And for a lot of people, you turn 21, super exciting, and you just kind of feel like more legit. You're like, all right, like I'm going grocery shopping, like maybe I'll pick up a bottle of wine to hang out with my friends, like we're cool. Fourth year, you kind of just like, you have your people, you have your things, you kind of just don't give which is kind of great. Like you're kind of just like, you know what? Fourth year, my favorite thing was honestly how much me and my friends all channeled fourth year it, which is kind of just the idea that full send, YOLO, we're living our life, we're doing crazy things, we're staying up late, we're having fun, like we're gonna work hard, we're gonna play hard, and just like we don't really care what people think. I was definitely like my most crazy self fourth year, and by that I mean just like acting like a lunatic at all times. I was just a lot more out there fourth year, and I think that that was just like me being able to like have a lot of fun with my friends and feeling very secure in myself, whereas like first year it didn't feel like that as much. So those are kind of some milestones to look forward to. And then the last 2 questions are kind of more just like college based in general. How did you balance school with work and your friends? Isn't that just the magic question? It's gonna be hard because in college you'll find some majors require a lot more work than others. I know my friend Emma was like always studying, always doing stuff because she's pre-med, and like that requires way more work than I will ever know. And I was really caught up with a lot of comm stuff and like McIntyre stuff and promo, and just all of that took up a lot of time. People are involved in different activities which have more stuff during one time, you may have more stuff during another, so it's kind of hard sometimes to get on the same page with your friends. I think that communicating is really important, and then for me I kind of just like always set the expectation that like, you know what, like Sunday through Thursday afternoon, like I'm doing school, might be able to hang out if I can like make it work, but I definitely like prioritize my schoolwork during that time. And then therefore like I worked super hard during the week, that for the weekend I could hang out with my friends more and be more relaxed, I guess, and more lax about schoolwork. For me personally, like my Google Calendar was my savior. I would time block and say like, here's the set of things that I'm doing during this time. I would do my top 3 for every day. I'm actually gonna do a whole separate video on how to stay organized in college and kind of what I learned over the past 4 years, because I definitely have a lot of knowledge to share with you guys. I would say that that's how I best did it. And then also just remembering that fourth year, for as fun as it was and as amazing as it was, the first semester I really just like ran myself into the ground. Like I have never been so burnt out, and that was because I was trying to fire on all cylinders at all times. I was going out 3 to 4 nights a week. I was staying up late all the other nights doing work. I was spending hours in the promo lab working on things. I was trying to hang out with my friends at every second, and then I realized that like I was trying to pour from an empty cup. And so I had to kind of take a step back. I was like, first of all, we don't need to be going out that much. I would say like the biggest thing I struggled with fourth year is like the debate and pull between like, oh, it's my last year, I should do it, YOLO, forget school, like that, this, that, the other, versus like, I need to prioritize like me right now and I need to prioritize school. Whether or not that's fun, different story, but like you need to prioritize that. So I think definitely just like getting your priorities straight and just like thinking about the impact of your actions beyond just like the 1 second. It's hard. No one does it perfectly. I did not do it perfectly. Definitely didn't capture the breakdowns that I had off camera on my vlogs just because I didn't feel like that was the vibe. But I think you need to keep in mind, one, you're never going to be perfect. Usually when you're doing really, really well in one thing, you're not doing as well in the other, and that's just life. It ebbs and flows. And then I would say also for me, something that really, really helped was getting up earlier, and I only did that because I worked out. That kept me so mentally sane. My second semester, fourth year, I spun a lot. It got me up in the mornings because I hate waking up. I'm not a morning person, and it just made me feel so much clearer mentally. So highly recommend that too. And then the last question, anything you wish you did differently in college? This is so hard because I really try not to live with regret, which sounds very dramatic, I'm sure, but the way that I try to view a lot of like situations in my life is like I was doing the best that I could with the information that I had, and like even if I made a mistake, I was meant to learn from that, and like I could have done better, yes, but like I can't go back and change it. I would say two things. I think that I put naturally a lot of pressure on myself to kind of have things figured out immediately, and that's just not possible. You can't figure out something in a day or college in a week or your life in a month. I think that going to UVA and McIntyre definitely kind of helped perpetuate that in me, and I felt like constantly I had to have some grand life plan, which to others I may seem like I did have some grand life plan, but it's important, and something that I've learned over the course of college is just the importance of self-confidence and like being assured in yourself, whether or not you know what you're doing, different story, but just like knowing that no matter what, like you're gonna succeed. That might be naive, but it's gotten me this far and I'm going with it still. And then I would say secondly, I wish that I put myself out there more. Not that I didn't put myself out there, but I think that fourth year, this kind of started third year, but it went into fourth year, where I noticed mostly with my YouTube videos and how open I was with people about the fact that I had a YouTube channel. First and second year, I was very afraid of coming off as too much, or that, you know, I was bragging that I had this YouTube channel and like this is my side thing, and I didn't want to be weird, and I didn't want it to be like, oh, like Megan's just like, she's the YouTube girl, she can't shut the fuck up about that. Fourth year, I had so much fun, like really getting my true personality in my vlogs, and you can kind of see that third year where I like start to introduce more and more of my friends in my videos and just like being comfortable behind the camera. Obviously, like this is a lot different than me holding out a camera in Trin on the night of lighting of the lawn. Like first year Megan could have never dreamt that I would do that. And I think that went along with one, my confidence, but two, just like that mentality of like, who cares? Literally, who cares? And if they do, like, that's on them, you know? I think that I wish that I had learned that sooner, but I also think that, as my caveat, like, it took me time to learn that, and I can definitely see, like, the difference between me now and first year me. So guys, whoa, that was quite the Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any video requests or anything like that, please leave them down below for me. I'm definitely brainstorming up a bunch of new videos for you guys, and the New York City moving series is coming, honey. It's coming real quick. I'm gonna do like, I think an organization video because I gotta get my shit in order. I can't wait to get there. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe down below to never miss a new video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.